There are times when time will stand still when I'm working. I lose all concept of time because I'm in the flow and I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing. And time will pass me by. I wouldn't realize that, hours would go by and I would just work. I worked with charcoal, pastels, watercolors, acrylics, oil, and now glass. It's hard to explain thoroughly why I like glass, other than the fact that it's very hands-on. I can really get my hands into the work, and it seems as if I'm doing something with glass that I haven't been able to do with acrylics and oil. My edges are sharper, and I don't think I would want to paint the same images in oil or acrylics as I get in glass. When I lay the glass in, with every piece of glass that I lay in, I look for a particular flow. That glass has to relate to what has been laid before, and it has to be a continuum. So that glass relates to what's there before, and it continues the flow into the total work. And maybe I might find myself just moving my hands as I put the glass down, or even before I put the glass down. What I'm looking for is, how do these pieces of glass move, and how do I want this piece of glass to move with what has been there before or what has to come. I have glass stones, other found objects, interesting pieces of fabric or paper, aluminum foil, and I would use these different objects to enhance my work. All of the objects that I mentioned. And I'm always looking for something new to add to the work. A lot of it I think is instinctive, but where color is concerned, I instinctively match and contrast colors constantly, at the same time paying attention to the shapes. So I'm not just trying to work with the colors as they match or contrast each other, but how they come together in terms of their shapes. I listen to jazz even when I'm not painting. Jazz is my favorite music. And when I paint, I listen to it, and it sort of sets the mood for me. It just gives me an energy. I become relaxed. And for me, jazz is a thinking man's music, a thinking person's music. The jazz that I listen to, which is classical jazz, Coltrane, Miles Davis, and those guys from the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, I think the music is a bit abstract, and it sort of, enhances my thought patterns. That's what it does for me. I'm my biggest critic. I criticize everything. Oh yes. Every piece of work that I did, I criticize, even after it's done. I don't go crazy over it, but I always think, especially when the work is new, for the first few weeks after it's been done, I study it, and I criticize it. But I use it as a self-teaching tool, because I'm going to do another piece, and I'm not going to make the same mistake again. So I look at it, I criticize it, and I learn from it, and then I try to improve on that piece. I've pulled a piece of work off the wall before and overhauled it. Oh yes. Not too many of them. In my career, I've maybe about 4 or 5 of them I've done that with. Yeah, just totally overhauled them. Yeah, made it into a totally new painting. Of course, I couldn't do that with glass. I can recall being about 4 or a little before 4, when as a child I will get chalks from my father. He was a school principal, and he used to bring chalks home, and I would draw on the floors. I did a lot of drawing on the floors, and that's my earliest recollection. Elementary school, I was noticed a bit for my art, but I never took it seriously. I just thought that was just something that I could do if I wanted to. I must have been about 30, and I was graduating from college, and I realized that something was missing. I didn't do what I wanted to do, and I started working in art. And 6 months later, I had my first show. Every new piece of work that I do, I'm totally attached to it until I've done another one. So every new baby has an attachment. I have an attachment to them until I have another baby, and then I let go a little bit. Of course, some of them I don't let go at all. There are not that many of them that I don't let go at all. There are just a few. Most of my work I will part with. I don't think I can remember all of them. No. And I've been told time and time again to keep a record and of everything, but I don't keep a record of everything. There are pieces of work that I've sold that I don't remember. I sometimes have those feelings, one day I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to see a piece of my work, and I'm going to have a conniption. I think we should go where our heart leads us. I wish I had done it earlier. I don't regret, but it's always good to go after your dreams and be fulfilled at the end of the day.